Hello again, welcome to episode 2. In this episode, we'll be talking about social distancing, romance, solitude. So let's see what the people have to say, shall we? Who did you spend quarantine with?
My boyfriend, partner, and my dog.
So I spent time with my host family, which is the American family I live with here. All of us were 6. So it was a packed house, but it's been a ton of fun and it's been good to spend time with more than just like my friends from college and have some more family time. So I've really loved it.
I didn't meet anybody else besides my family.
Usually my dog, whoever spends more time with, she ends up sleeping at night with. So before the quarantine, she always slept on his side of the bed. When I started staying home, she started sleeping with me and she would alternate one day with me and one night with him.
Was difficult in the beginning with Dante. Dante is a little one. He's almost 3, so he don't understand everything. But we live in a building and we have an elevator. So he knows that he don't must be touch the bottom with a hand, and he knows that he must use that. And he said me, Mom, with this, no this, with this. Simona is the big one. She's almost 11 and she knows everything. We are in the house very responsible. With my husband, we learn the new life.
So I spent it with my girlfriend. She's pregnant. So what I did was literally the second I walked into the house, she wouldn't even touch me and I would take off all my clothes and go straight to the shower and shower. And she never got sick from it. And then when we would go grocery shopping, when phase 1 happened, we would wear masks. And at least from both of our ends, we never got any upper respiratory symptoms. We never got sick. We never got fever. And I was exposed to a few patients.
Is the baby at risk if the mother tests positive?
We actually don't have a lot of information about that. Right now, from what we've seen, is there seems to be no effects to the fetus if the mother gets COVID that we know of so far. If the mother ends up being positive for COVID, when the baby is born, we separate the baby and the mother to try to avoid the infant getting COVID. So that's kind of what we do. And that's kind of traumatizing for moms because the first thing that you do when you give birth, you want to be with your baby, and we kind of just take the baby away if the mom is positive until we had that 14-day kind of quarantine period. And then we try to keep people from coming into the nursery just so that we don't spread it to the other babies.
How seriously did you take social distancing?
We tried to keep ourselves very safe in that if we went out to do grocery shopping, we came back, washed our hands. It was hard being in the house with everybody in that close proximity.
So basically, I did not meet anyone for 80 days.
The first day they opened the bar or restaurant, I went. And when you drink some beer or something, some alcohol, you see how the people start to be relaxed, start to forget. You need to be more restricted with that.
I had one party last week, 15. We were separate, say hello, hi, everybody, but with conscience. And we must stay responsible about that.
I didn't see absolutely anyone for 46 days, other than my roommate, and other than like people at COSPA that everyone was trying to keep me 6 feet apart.
I followed the rules. I did not meet anyone, and I had friends who just really didn't care from the beginning. They were still having parties at home and whatever. Going home to Budapest, I'm originally from Hungary. I grew up there, and of course I have friends and my family there. No, I have not seen them since Christmas actually. So it's been hard, but you know, because of technology, we would talk much more actually on FaceTime or whatever. We just kept each other much more up to date.
Are you currently seeing someone?
I am not seeing someone, but I have had a ton of experiences with online dating because of coronavirus.
Single, which has been, I think, a very mixed blessing in lockdown. You don't get any of the perks that come with having a live-in boyfriend, but at the same time, I think it'd be really hard if you had a partner and you couldn't see them during this time.
I'm single. I knew already that it's gonna be like 3 months, so I'm gonna spend the time trying to meet someone in 3 months. I'm not gonna have time enough to all of them.
I have so many answers for this.
I use Hinge and Tinder, but mostly Hinge. It's been interesting to see, like, as soon as you start texting somebody, they're like, hey, let's have a FaceTime. And I've never been on a first date on FaceTime. I have never done that. So it's so weird that I'm sitting in front of like a camera, my makeup is done, my hair is done. One time I had dinner like on my side and he had dinner on his side, which was so funny. But I think it's such an interesting way to get to know somebody.
Can we skip this? No, I'm not seeing anyone. No, I felt like, I don't really, I'm not really of a person to just do this Tinder thing. It did not work for me. I'm definitely a relationship person, so I'm not, I did not feel the need to do this during quarantine,
But it's been very exciting, and I'm talking to a few people, trying to get to know people, so I'm enjoying it.
So I went on Tinder, but I didn't do it to date someone, but literally to make some friends, which actually happened. One of them, he was actually the one who ended up helping me to move from Jacksonville here.
With some of these apps, you can go international. So I have been on a few like wine dates or like eating dates or coffee dates with people who are like in Belgium and people who are in New Zealand, people who are in Bali. So it's not just like restricted to the United States, it's like just like all over the world, which is really exciting to me that I could be seeing, I could be having dinner with somebody who's like in Australia right now. So
there is one person that I met like this due to the pandemic, which I'm really interested in. He's a beautiful person, inside and out, taking care of himself, very kind, and he will come to visit me here.
I've not met anyone yet. I'm trying to be safe, COVID, I have to be COVID cautious. It's interesting to sort of like have that like mental connection first. That will now make when you meet in person, that even more authentic or that even more just magical. So that's how I feel about it. I'm not stressed. I'm not distressed. So.
Is there someone keeping you warm during those cold COVID nights?
I didn't meet anyone, I didn't date anyone, I didn't have sex for 3 months.
Exactly, yeah. And I have good friends.
I haven't been lucky enough to meet any handsome young men who are my neighbours as well. So that hasn't really happened.
So what's the bad part of the quarantine was this?
I'll hold on that.
I have friends who took it very well. It was difficult for them, to go through this. They're also single, but they don't choose to be single. If they could, they would just have someone for the night to sleep together,
How did you keep in touch with friends?
I call them on WhatsApp, for example, or Facebook.
During a weekday, probably like 3 or 4 nights a week, I'd be doing something with a friend. So it has been a big shock, really, and a big decrease in the amount of time I've been spending.
I also decided to do like an appreciation message every day, and I sent it to my friends. Like a friend of mine, for example, I used to work with her in Switzerland when I lived there, and we haven't talked for so long, and I just sent her this message, and she just called me crying like, I cannot believe that you did that, like it feels so good to know that you're somewhere there and this is how you think of me.
So I learned to love spend time with people who deserve to be with me, family, friends from childhood. Usually when you post a picture, many people text you, you lose time with them. I think I love this part because I didn't know that, but I wanted to lose them.
I started like 1 month ago to meet with my friends in distance. I drink mate. I don't know if you know the mate, and we talk in distance. We really need it. We really needed this.
My brother was released from prison after 10 years, so we threw a party. It wasn't a huge party, but it was 15 of us, family and friends, and everything turned out just fine. We weren't wearing our masks, unfortunately, at the party, and no one got sick, and everyone's healthy and safe. How could we not celebrate after 10 years? But everyone came because they were feeling just fine, and my mom took care of herself. There was a part of me that it was a little worried, but I felt that her missing out on such a magnificent day would have been also very sad. So if she was okay, willing to take the risk, then we were gonna welcome her open arms. She'll have that memory forever.
For my friends, now that we're in the opening phases, I've been able to see them. We'll hang out one-on-one. I think the biggest group we've ever had is probably a group of like 4. we're all nurses and doctors, so we're exposed anyways. So even though we're hanging out, it's like, well, look, we have worse exposure in the hospital than here. So what's the difference? But even then, we still haven't gone out in big groups.
My dad did not go to the party. Yeah, I don't think even he's seen my brother yet. It's been already 2 months, and he does have an underlying condition. I know that he is scared. He watches the news way too much. He stayed quarantined. My mom doesn't have an underlying condition. She's very healthy. Two completely opposing views.
Did you have any online parties?
We had a lot of like happy hour cocktail nights, which was fun. We had movie nights. Netflix came up with Netflix parties, so that was fun to be able to like just watch a movie and you know that your friends are there. We did a lot of just like talking, like constantly to like check in on each other to make sure we were okay.
I think it's just so sad to drink alone at home, even you are connected with friends through WhatsApp or whatever. No, it's just sad, no.
I did with my mom on Easter. We actually, decided to have dinner together virtually, and I also made, this Hungarian traditional Easter food, and we baked together. We opened one bottle of wine after another, so it was like until the 3 a.m. situation when you talk and you laugh and you reminisce, and it was really, really good. So that was the only time I did, but not with my friends, no.
Yeah, so of course we did all those Zoom parties. Apparently, I didn't know that so many of my friends that they're born during March, so many birthday parties. I mean, they were just faking it. You know how people go to the restaurant and they say it's my birthday? So I think they did exactly the same thing. They were just faking and say, yeah, it's my birthday on Saturday, let's have drinks, Zoom call, and something like that.
And then towards the beginning of lockdown, we did lots of, with my other friends, we did like Zoom calls and like quizzes and bingo and things like that. So that did help a lot.
I didn't do any online parties. Every other weekend we got together in groups of from 6 people to 12 people, and in the case of the party it was 15.